What if I told you that one habit is responsible for destroying more dreams than failure ever could? It's not lack of talent. It's not bad luck. It's not intelligence. It's excuses. And the scary part? Most people don't even realize they're making them. Every person has dreams. Some want to get fit. Some want to start a business. Some want to learn new skills. Some want a better life. But wanting something and working for it are two completely different things. Meet Alex. Alex wasn't lazy. At least that's what he believed. He had goals. Big goals. The problem was, he never seemed to start. Every Monday, Alex promised himself he would change. This week would be different. This week, he would finally take action. But by Tuesday, everything was back to normal. Whenever someone asked him why he hadn't started, Alex always had an answer. I'm busy. I'm tired. I don't have enough time. I'll start when things calm down. And honestly, those excuses sounded reasonable. That's what makes excuses dangerous. They rarely sound like excuses. They sound like logic. They sound like common sense. And because of that, most people never question them. Days became weeks. Weeks became months. Months became years. And while Alex kept waiting for the perfect moment, life kept moving forward without him. His friends started businesses, learned new skills, improved their health, built better habits. Meanwhile, Alex stayed exactly where he was, not because he couldn't change, because he never started. Deep down, Alex knew something wasn't right. He wasn't jealous of other people's success. He was frustrated with himself, because every time he saw someone improving, he was reminded of the promises he never kept. One night, something happened that changed everything. Alex came across a simple sentence, a sentence so uncomfortable that he couldn't stop thinking about it, and that sentence would force him to face a truth he had been avoiding for years. Alex stared at that sentence for several minutes. At first, he disagreed with it. He told himself that his situation was different. He wasn't making excuses. He was being realistic. But the more he thought about it, the more uncomfortable he became, because deep down, he knew it was true. For years, Alex blamed his circumstances, his schedule, his job, his lack of energy, his lack of resources. But for the first time, he asked himself a different question. What if the problem wasn't my situation? What if the problem was me? That question hurt, because it removed every place he could hide. No more blaming time, no more blaming luck, no more blaming other people. Suddenly, the responsibility belonged to him. And responsibility is heavy, but it's also powerful. Most people think excuses protect them from failure, but that's not true. Excuses protect people from discomfort, because the moment you decide to change, life becomes difficult. You have to wake up earlier, work harder, stay consistent, and most people don't want that pain. Alex finally understood something. He wasn't afraid of failing. He was afraid of trying, because trying meant facing reality. Trying meant discovering his limits. Trying meant risking embarrassment. And for years, fear disguised itself as excuses. That night, Alex made a decision. Not a dramatic decision, not a life-changing announcement, just one simple choice. Tomorrow, he would take one action, only one, no matter how small. The next morning, Alex woke up earlier than usual, not 2 hours earlier, not even 1 hour earlier, just 15 minutes, that's all, because he finally realized something important. Big changes rarely start big. Most people fail because they try to change everything overnight. They create impossible plans. They expect instant results. And when reality hits, they quit. Alex decided to do the opposite. He made his goals smaller, so small. Failure became difficult. One day became 3 days. 3 days became a week. A week became a month. And for the first time in years, Alex started trusting himself, not because he was perfect, but because he was keeping promises to himself. And that's when Alex discovered a truth most people never learn. Confidence doesn't come before action. Confidence comes after action. You don't start because you're confident. You become confident because you start. The funny thing is, nothing around Alex changed overnight. He didn't suddenly become rich. He didn't suddenly become successful. He didn't suddenly have more time. His life looked almost exactly the same. But something important had changed. For the first time, Alex was moving forward. 3 months later, the results were still small, but they were real. He had learned new skills, built better habits, stopped wasting as much time, and most importantly, he no longer saw himself as someone who quits. Most people never understand this. Success isn't created by giant moments. It's created by ordinary days. The days nobody talks about, the days nobody celebrates, the days when you show up, even when you don't feel like it. Because motivation is unreliable. Some days you'll feel inspired. Most days you won't. And if your success depends on motivation, your success depends on your mood. That's a dangerous way to live. Discipline is different. Discipline shows up when motivation disappears. Discipline works when nobody is watching. Discipline keeps moving when excuses come back. And trust me, excuses always come back. A year later, Alex looked back at his old life, and he realized something surprising. The biggest change wasn't his habits. It wasn't his skills. It wasn't even his results. The biggest change was his identity. He was no longer someone waiting for tomorrow. Most people spend years waiting for the perfect moment, the perfect plan, the perfect opportunity, the perfect motivation. But the truth is, perfection is often just another excuse, and every day spent waiting is a day you'll never get back. The people you admire aren't special. They aren't fearless. They aren't lucky. They simply learned something most people never do. They learned how to act before they feel ready. And maybe that's the lesson you need today. You don't need a perfect plan. You don't need perfect timing. You don't need more motivation. You don't need another Monday. You don't need another New Year. You only need one thing, a decision to start. Because 1 year from now, you will wish you had started today. And whether your future becomes better or worse depends on the choices you make after this video ends. The life you want isn't hidden behind luck. It's hidden behind the actions you've been avoiding. So stop waiting. Stop making excuses. And start becoming the person you know you can be. I want to ask you one question. What's one excuse you've been using lately? Write it in the comments. And more importantly, what action are you going to take today?